What's up, y'all? This is Neena. How are you? I am so glad to be on here. I haven't been on here for a minute. It's been like maybe a week or two or whatever. And I had promised myself I was going to come on every day and all that, but life has been amazing, doing such amazing things. I have my first granddaughter coming and all this amazing stuff. And today I wanted to talk to you guys about your inherent value. And, I realized, talking to so many women, especially in this last like week or two, which has been so cool, like learning and like expanding my mind and expanding their minds. And a lot of them just, are really starting to dip their toe into what it means to have their own thing, whether it's their own podcast, whether it's their own coaching business, whether it's their own show, whether it's their own whatever, right? And we walk around, I say we, like aspiring entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs, sometimes walk around with this really real syndrome, right? Which people call imposter syndrome, but you're not being an imposter if you step up and actually are who you say you are, right? It's just a feeling of inadequacy. And this inherent value that everybody has and these unique gifts that are put onto you are to show you that you have a different angle and a different way of doing things than most people do. And I know that sometimes that's hard to see because we are bombarded with so much crap and information that it's really, really hard to see what you are bringing to the world. What can you bring to the world that somebody else hasn't done? Well, shocker. There's probably nothing out there that you're inventing that someone hasn't already thought of or invented or bought up or whatever, but that doesn't mean that they can do it like you do it. Like, this is why we have this inherent gift from God to be as unique as we are and to bring out whatever we have, right? I know that I have a particular coaching style where somebody that I maybe am coaching with, or they are my coach, they have a particular coaching style. That's all good. We are all very, very uniquely made and different. And that is on purpose, right? Because if we all looked the same, acted the same, spoke the same, how freaking boring would this world be? And I know that identifying your gifts is really, really critical for you to grow and expand your mind, your business, your relationships, all of that. And I wanted to encourage you to reflect on what it is you are naturally good at. What are your natural talents? What are you passionate about, right? I want you to emphasize on these indicators, these things that God has given you that you have as natural gifts. Excuse my dogs, okay? Excuse my dogs. There's these natural gifts that God has given you in your life that only you have, and you might just have them in a different way. There are people out there that are going to connect with what you have. This is why, so many businesses out there and so many companies and so many whatever, because they find their thing. They find what they're passionate about, what they're good at. They find what they can create, what they're naturally gifted in, and then they go for that. And so they really start to really hone in on what it is that's a gift in your life. And you should really start thinking about, what am I passionate about anyway? What is it that I want to do? What are the indicators that God has given me? What are these gifts inside of me that I have, right? I love seeing women that think they aren't good enough and all that, and then extracting their beauty from them, beauty out of them, I should say, and really pulling out their gift and wisdom. And I think that is a gift from God that I can do that, because you can't be broken around me and me leave you broken. That's just not going to happen. Right? That's just not going to happen. And even when I was going through being homeless, even when I was going through not believing in myself, starting a new business, all this other stuff, I didn't let that deter the gift inside of me to see that in others. And that is a beautiful thing to have, is to know what God has put inside of you, right? And so that you can start to really, really strategize on what it is you want to bring out into the world and silence that inner critic that says, you can't do anything, or you don't know what you're doing, or you're not good enough, or you're not smart enough, or you can't, or why would anybody listen to you? All of those shenanigans and lies and manipulation that comes, I believe, from the enemy, from ourselves, from negativity, from our experiences, all that kind of stuff. So all of these things are coming at us, and we don't think we're good enough and gifted. And I say bull crap to that, right? So I want you to start to recognize these thoughts, and so you can counteract these thoughts and ask yourself if it's even true. And before you get pessimistic on me, but it is true. Like, I will say that some things are true. So if you say to me, hey, Neena, but I don't know how to do it, I don't know where to start, but that's probably true. But that doesn't mean that you are not smart enough to figure it out or to have someone help you along the way. Okay. So stop letting something you don't know be your deterrent. Figure it out. Think about it. Say, you know what? Let me scratch my head for a second. How do I make this happen? And then freaking make it happen. Okay. So make your thoughts become in alignment with what it is you want and the truth of yourself, and having self-compassion in yourself, knowing that you don't know it all. Hello, you don't know it all. Okay? But you should step up authentically. Step out and really be real. I was talking to my husband about, there are so many things that me and my husband talk about. My dog is making so much noise. There's so many things that I like to talk to my husband about, whether it's politics, whether it's faith, whether it's culture, things like that. And I don't usually talk about that online. I usually talk about that offline with my husband, because that's just the conversations I like to have with him, right? And so I realized that there are belief systems that I have that are aligned with who I am as a person. And if you don't like it, well, that's just too bad. And I used to always think, oh no, they might not like what I say. Oh, don't care. I don't care, because I think it's really going to become a place where you're not only learning who really is there for you and who your audience really is, but you also learned who you really are. And you have to be careful, because shame has a lot of impact. And when you have shame around who you are, what you feel, or what you think, it's going to come out in your business. It's going to come out in your determination. It's going to come out in your career. It's going to come out in your relationships. Shame is a killer. It is an absolute killer, right? So you have to address shame and how it paralyzes your potential. It prevents you as an individual to embrace who you are as a person, to embrace your gifts, and to share ways that you can then go out and heal and help others heal from shame to move forward. Shame is a B word, right? I'm trying to stop cursing, guys. I'm trying, but I'm not succeeding very much, but I'm trying. Okay. But shame is such a joke. And it comes to make fun of you, and it comes to play you, and shame will stop you from doing the things that you want to create in your life. Maybe because I don't have any shame, Neena. Well, then go create something, right? As soon as we start creating is when all that stuff comes up, is when we don't feel good enough or smart enough or determined enough, or we don't know what we're doing, or all of that stuff is maybe something that you are ashamed of, maybe ashamed of coming out too much. Maybe you're ashamed people are going to, criticize you or say something about you, or that you don't have enough knowledge, or you don't know enough, right? So there's something hidden under all of that needs to be discovered. Okay. Because there are a lot of stories in your life that you can share with other people that will really help them to discover who they are, to have their gifts, to transform their perception. Okay. You need to really sit and illustrate who you are as a person and illustrate your journey, because you have a gift. You have a gift from God. And the first gift you have is life, because you are here. Now, not everybody's a good person. I'm not going to be sitting up in here talking about how everybody's a child of God. That's not true. That's not true. Okay. You really have to connect with God in a different way, and you have to accept him as your Lord and Savior and all that for God to be connected with you in that way. That's just what I believe. That's in the Bible. That's where I'm going. I rather believe the Bible than what everybody else is saying. Okay. It is super important for you to have a spiritual connection with God, to better understand what are these gifts that are inside of you that maybe but maybe have been squashed by life kicking your ass. Right. And so sometimes life comes with so many things, shame and unforgiveness and rejection and all of this ugly stuff that life comes with. And that starts to crush the gifts that are inside of us, and doesn't allow us to then pull forward what it is that God wants for us in our lives, and have guidance and purpose in our life, that we are just deterring or going on another way, and we are not using our gifts to serve others. Your gifts are never for you. They'll bless you. but they're really to serve someone else, right? It's really important that you start to fulfill your personal purpose for your life. I mean, it's important to me. It's important to me. And I would want that for you, right? Serving others creates this camaraderie, this village, this cycle of positivity and love and connection in a deeper way. And this is how people then can relate to you. This is how, as an entrepreneur or a leader or someone who is, out there serving others, this is how you make impact. You make impact by really attaching what your gifts are and your truth and authenticity and what is true to serving other people. And you need to continue to learn about yourself in that. I want to encourage you to discover your mindset. All right. Hone your gift. This is a lifelong journey. It is something that you're not going to do overnight. I get it. But you can start honing these gifts, right? I want to advocate for continuous self learning. Learn spiritually, mentally, socially, economically, learn in all of those areas so that you can develop and open yourself to experiences and enlargement of what you even thought possible. It was really funny. I was speaking to a woman today. She was so kind and so sweet. And I started coaching her. And she's like, oh my gosh. And she's like taking all of these notes down, right? And she's just starting on her journey, which is beautiful to see because somebody's stepping out of where they were to step out into their journey. And I think that's amazing, right? Just amazing. And I'm getting bombarded with so much information, so many things coming at me. And that is a true thing. And I told her it's going to get harder. And she's like, oh, and I'm like, I don't lie. It's going to get harder. And the reason it gets harder is because if you're not honed in and you don't know what your gifts are and you don't know who you want to serve and you don't know how you want to show up in the world, that's going to get super hard because everybody's going to tell you how you should and shouldn't act, what you should and shouldn't say, where you should and shouldn't be. And all of it is not going to serve you well, right? So I wanted to tell you that there is a gift in you that needs to be shared with the world. And I just would love to hear how you're going to share it. I want to have you start taking these small steps towards recognizing and utilizing your gifts. Okay. I want you to really sit down and say, where are my gifts? How do I begin? What is that? Oh, I know what my gift is. How do I now share that with the world? I want to have you have some self-discovery and empowerment in your life. I know that that is what transformed my life. I've always been a go-getter. I strap on my boots and I make things happen, but I was making things happen while hitting another wall, like a juggernaut, and then hitting another wall, and then hitting another wall. But I don't need you to hit walls, right? And this is why I now serve women by being a woman's leader coach. I help women leaders, heart-centered women leaders, very important, heart-centered women leaders to create their own coaching or consulting businesses with their wisdoms and gifts, right? Because it is important to hone that in, to have a strategy and a roadmap to get to where it is you want to go. Because otherwise you are, what's that saying? You throw spaghetti to the wall and hope something sticks. I'm telling you, that's an expensive way to do it. I know. If I told you how much I spend on throwing spaghetti at the walls, yeah, not good, right? You can ask my husband. So I want you to actually think about what you're thinking about and what it is you want to do to share your gift with the world, because you definitely have a gift. It is a gift that we all have. It is a gift that develops. It's not going to be the same thing you maybe start with now. You might, as you grow and expand and learn, that gift is going to shift and change and modify or whatever, or look completely different, but it's always going to be to serve others. Right? Because I feel like the more we serve others, the more blessed we are. It's just a beautiful law of reciprocity. If you want to learn more about what that means, if you maybe want to work with me, if you think that this is like something you really want to dive into to create your own wisdom to wealth, go ahead and reach out to me. You can even DM under this video if you want, put wisdom and I'll get right to you. Or you can Follow me on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and all these great spaces where it is Neena Perez, Neena Perez. If you don't think that you know me well enough yet, I encourage you to do that. I have a ton of stuff out there so you will know how I am and what my style is. Not everybody is a fit, but the ones that are. And that's what I love. So I want to make sure that you stop thinking that you don't have a gift or that you just are not equipped or that you can't or whatever that lie is that you are telling yourself. We need to stop that thing, okay? Because God don't make junk. All right? So, like I said before, if you want to connect with me, connect with me. But what I really want you to do is to pause and think, what is my gift? How do I impact the world? How do I make this happen? All right, guys, this is Neena Perez. I love you so much, and I'll catch you on the next one.